Hey guys, Billy Epphart here, and today we've been doing a series of vlogs on why I like real estate or the advantages of investing in real estate. And of course, in our last vlog, we talked about one of them was cash flow. One of those advantages is cash flow. And then the other one is what we call leverage, the ability to control a lot more of assets with just a small amount of money. The third thing I want to talk to you today about is what I call appreciation. So one of the things I want to say is while you make a lot of money if you invest properly via the cash flow from your properties, the most money that I have ever made in real estate has really come long-term from appreciation. And one of the reasons is because you're controlling a much larger asset with a much smaller amount of money because you're investing in real estate. And as I mentioned in the last vlog, it's very difficult to do with other types of assets. It's possible, but not to the extent you can in real estate. So real estate is one of those things that's really ubiquitous to everybody. Everybody knows about it. Everybody needs a place to live. And so one of the things that I just want to encourage you in now is what I call appreciation. Now, understanding appreciation is really a big deal. Now, except for the Great Recession that we had from 2008, maybe the end of 2007, all the way really into about 2011, what happened was real estate actually went down. And so instead of it appreciating, it depreciated. Now, the truth of the matter was we had some markets that went down as much as 40%. Now, some of you will send me an email or make a comment on this vlog to say, well, in my area it went down 50. Well, that may be true, but generally speaking, for just about every place in the U.S. and other parts of the world, real estate came back, not only hit the levels it was at before the Great Recession, it actually went considerably above it. In fact, if you think about my son and daughter-in-law, they bought a house in 2012, and that house cost them approximately $220,000 in Denver, Colorado. They just recently sold that property for close to $600,000 and didn't have that much in improvement value they put in it. So the real estate swung way up. And so the reason I share that with you is that appreciation is powerful. Now think about it with me this way. What happens in real estate, if you study the history of real estate and study the history of interest rates, real estate has been pretty consistent that it appreciates say around 6% a year. Now that doesn't mean every year when the clock turns to, or the calendar goes to January the 1st, you automatically get a 6% increase. It may go up 15% in one year and be, not go up any the next, but typically speaking, you see real estate increase that 5 or 6% a year. Just typically, that's the way it works. Well, if you hold real estate for, say, a period of 15 years, it's incredible. I'm also very aware that there are a few isolated markets in America. Now, I realize people are watching from all over the world in these vlogs, but in America, we have a few isolated, especially in the Midwest, more so than anywhere else. We have a few isolated pockets that have not really seen any appreciation over a period, even in some cases a long period of time. Most of the time that has to do with the local economy. But for the most part, anywhere in the world, real estate always keeps up with the rate of inflation. Therefore, if there is inflation, the real estate will keep up with it. Also, real estate helps protect against what I would call deflation. So real estate typically will hold its value. I realize as we went through the Great Recession, we had some that went down. But now let's talk about appreciation in a way that you can understand. Now I want you to hear me when I talk about this. You may have to go back and watch this again. But there's a rule called the Rule of 72. And what the Rule of 72 is that you could take what we would call the appreciation rate. I use 6%. Divide that 6% into 72. So if you take 6% divided into 72, you get the number 12. Now what does the number 12 represent? The number 12 tells you how many years it takes to double what your investment is, or what your asset is worth. It takes that many years to double at the rate of 6% a year. So what it means is if you bought a house at $100,000 and it appreciated 6% a year in 12 years, that house would now be worth $200,000. Now think about that. Now sometimes you can get into markets like coming out of the one we just went in that was difficult in 08 to 2011. And if you bought somewhere in 11, 12, or even 13, you probably got something like a 20% annual increase because you bought it so low. And so one of the things I just want you to understand is how powerful it is. So if something is increasing every year at that 5 or 6% value, or maybe a tad higher, it will double in 10 to 12 years. So if you hold it during that time, it's absolutely incredible the power of appreciation. And let's say it's an investment property. If it's your own home, you just live there and make sure you take care of the general maintenance. But if it's an investment property, think about it this way. Think about if you own 30 homes, just think with me, that were all worth $100,000 apiece when you purchased them. And today, here we are, say 10, 12 years later, and those 30 homes, when you purchased them, would be $3 million. Now, here you are, and it just went up automatically, not counting the rent income you got, etc. Those houses today, if you held them that 10 to 12 to 15 years, are now worth $6 million. Think about it. Think about if you had 100 of those houses. How much money would you have if it went up to that extent? So that's the thing that I want you to see. You'd have about $15 million in equity. So when you look at that, that's how millionaires are made. You learn to control a much larger asset with a lower amount of money that you have to invest. And now you have to take time, information, and knowledge to the marketplace. Let me say it one more time. You have to be willing to spend the time, get the knowledge, right, that you actually put into that, and you take those things to the marketplace. So you take time, information, knowledge, you take it to the marketplace, and you're able to greatly increase through appreciation what your wealth is. So, hey, thanks for watching this. Now remember, we talked about, right, that appreciation, and then the other two that we talked about just the other day was leverage, if we go backwards, and then cash flow. So all of those things are the benefits of why I like to invest in real estate. Thanks. We'll see you again.